Yes, absolutely yes. Per my friend here, we're going to face read this dude. Recap. This dude is Tom Hanks. He's involved with pizza scandals and child stuff and all sorts of weird stuff. I personally know that he was one of the people that were placing a lot of propaganda to promote certain things, and he was paid very well for that, if you know what I mean. This dude owns a pizza shop in Ohio and is in trouble right now because he has had 38 different times that police have been called to his house because a woman is running in fear from his house. Wild. My name is Anna, and I'm a professional profiler. I help businesses and entrepreneurs double their revenue in 2 years or less. One of my favorite modalities is face reading, so let's get into it.
Okay, can I make it small now?
Okay, see how his head is like covered up by this hat, but it's actually pretty long? That tells me that he's more of a doer and has less awareness. Now he's a dude with a big jaw, so the width of this jaw seems like he's really aware, which typically most men are. You have to be hyper aware, which is why they have these jowls, because it's like awareness, logic, pattern recognition. He doesn't have pattern recognition or logic. Actually, he's pretty dumb, but he does have the awareness. His measurements of the bridge of his nose tell me that his forehead should be right around there, which that means that he's got a pretty short forehead, which makes sense why he's wearing the hats. Either he's balding or it's the short forehead thing. He's covering his eyes in most of the pictures, which tells me he's obviously an avoidant and like doesn't like to be understood or really connected to. But he is an attention seeker, which is funny. I know that I say like you can't judge a book by its cover, but I judge it by its cover. How do I say this? I don't judge one little thing and say that's a narcissist. I judge the whole picture and I'm like, ooh, that might be a narcissist. And this dude might be, because of one trait actually that's really prevalent, but it can also be an old age. It's almost like I don't know if it's the cataracts or what it is, but the color of the eyes become very light, almost like think walkers, Game of Thrones and Ice Walkers. You see how his eyes are like, they're not just like blue, like beautiful deep blue, they're like super bright blue, like a freaking Ice Walker from Game of Thrones. That's what you should think of in terms of people that have lost their connection to their soul. It's just super jaded. Like, he may come off as if he's like into spirituality or into love or into warm, lovey-dovey stuff, but he might just be very calculated. But again, this dude thinks he's calculated. Like, okay, this is what the whole picture that I'm seeing. He has a lot of awareness. He does a lot of things. So he thinks that he's really grandiose by doing things. And he has a longer, like this part of his face is longer. That is do it energy. So but without that awareness, you have this person that will do a lot of things lacking awareness, making a lot of mistakes, bringing chaos, saying stupid things, being played out of pocket because they're lacking the awareness. They're going too fast and their eyes can't see clearly. That's just what I got so far. And his short brain, remember, if small here, big here means they're just doers. Big here, small here, thinkers, less doers. He is a doer, not a thinker. Has awareness, and he actually has filler and veneers. This is the crazy part, right? So he's got some really thick teeth, like really thick, but they're veneers. But they're still out of the same shape that he has, which is usually what they do, which tells me that he still had really thick teeth, which is the ability to withstand resilience, how you deal with things. If you have small teeth, then you're less capable of dealing with heavy things. You have a harder time with. But there's a couple parts, right? There's this indent right here. Right here. Actually, I just found some things. There is a face reading quality where you can tell if a person is hedonistic, meaning they like to do drugs, party, rock and roll, but to the max, and it's self-indulgent and sometimes at other people's expenses. Like, it's animalistic and very primal in nature. This part of his lip right here, this fat thing right here, normally it would be like he would smile like this. Steve Harvey has it. When he smiles, Steve Harvey is like this. It's just like, ugh. And it shows gums. It's very, like, prominent. When people that are hedonistic are trying to hide that protrusion, like this, they will fold it inwards, making this fat ring around the bottom of the lower lip. So his lip ends right here, and the rest of this is just hedonistic. This doesn't necessarily mean that he would unalive and harm people, but everything all together with these are not crow's feet. Crow's feet are when they like are little right here, or they can swing up, you know, or swing down a little bit, but for the most part they'll swing up like this. This guy has them like a half across. He has them up, down, and back to the ears. This is cruel. It's more like I laugh because of cruelty. I enjoy cruelty. So with this combined with I sacrificed for you, combined with this hedonistic portion, combined with this scar on his internal how I see myself, which is scarred and ugly and not good enough, and the duality of this cheek, which has no love, a lot of rigidness, the scar of how he sees himself, versus this cheek that shows love, consistency, community. Like, he's a predator. I guess I gotta start saying these things for what they are. Again, this isn't... I say to judge a book by its cover. We have read the book, and now the painting looks scary. I would not hang out with this painting. I would not buy this painting. I would stay very far away from this painting. Now, if this was his face on both sides, or at least similar, you'd have like the friendly neighbor next door. But this is a different human being. It's a different human being. And just a quick learning lesson, quick cheat code on how to read faces. If you can cut a person's face and it is completely off balance, that person is a different person on the inside. Whether that's good or bad, positive or negative, that's a whole other story, but that's just like a quick trick to be able to see, and a way for each and every person to see, am I really honest with myself? Am I authentic to myself? Am I sacrificing myself? Because if you see like a severe imbalance, then you probably have some internal work to do.